The cafe smelled like warm cinnamon and roasted beans when Marissa Coleman, a 32-year-old marketing manager, stepped through the door. She had been awake since 5:30 a.m., finishing a presentation that could change her career. She didn't look tired. Marissa never allowed herself to appear anything less than polished, but her hands trembled slightly from stress. She took her place in line. People glanced at her, some smiling politely. But two baristas at the counter, Tiffany and Bree, immediately exchanged looks. That kind of look. The look every Black woman recognizes instantly. "Great," Bree muttered under her breath. Loud enough for Tiffany. "Another specific order, customer." Tiffany smirked. "Watch, she's gonna want like 10 pumps of drama." They snickered. Marissa heard every word, but she stayed calm. Years in corporate America had taught her one expensive skill. Silence is a strategy. When it was Marissa's turn, she stepped up politely.
"Good morning," she said.
"1 oat milk latte, extra hot, 2 pumps of vanilla, light foam." Bree exaggerated a gasp. "Oh wow, fancy." Tiffany added, "Extra hot? Girl, this is coffee, not a spa day." A few customers looked uncomfortable. Marissa kept her posture. "Is there a problem with my order?" "Nope," Tiffany said, rolling her eyes. "Just some people really think there's something." Marissa waited at the pickup counter. She watched as the baristas whispered, watched as they smirked, watched as Tiffany grabbed her cup, pretended it was slippery, and
splash.
The latte hit the counter, splattering across Marissa's blouse. "Oh my God," Tiffany said loudly. "I totally slipped." Laughter. Not from customers. From staff. Bree laughed so hard she had to lean on the counter. Someone in line whispered, "That wasn't an accident." Marissa inhaled sharply. Her white blouse was ruined. Her morning was ruined. Her day, maybe her whole chance at a promotion, was slipping away with that coffee. "Do you want a refund or whatever?" Tiffany said. "Or whatever?" Marissa repeated. "Yeah." Bree cut in. "We don't have time for reactions." "Reactions?" Marissa said. "You spilled coffee on me." Tiffany folded her arms. "If you're gonna act ghetto, you can leave." Silence. Dead, thick silence. A teenage boy in line whispered, "That's messed up." An older woman shook her head. But Marissa, she didn't explode. She didn't cry. She simply said, "I'd like to speak with your manager." "Oh, he's not here." Tiffany lied instantly. "He's on vacation," Bree added. That was a lie too. And life had a way of punishing lies immediately. Because at that exact moment, the door opened. And Daniel Hartwell, the CEO of the entire cafe chain, walked in. Daniel froze. He saw the spilled coffee. He saw Marissa's soaked blouse. He saw the baristas laughing. His face transformed. "Marissa," he said, stepping forward. "What happened to you?" The cafe hushed. Tiffany blinked. "Wait, you know her?" Daniel looked at the staff with disbelief, so sharp it cut the air. "She's not just my VIP guest." He stepped beside Marissa. "She's the woman who built half of our new branding strategy. The reason this cafe is even profitable. The consultant I personally hired."
Gasps.
Someone whispered, "Oh, they messed up." Daniel turned to the staff. "Did you spill this coffee on her?" She asked for some complicated order." Bree started. Daniel cut her off. "1 oat latte is not complicated. Humiliating a customer is." Tiffany tried. "It was a prank." "A prank?" Daniel repeated, stunned. "You humiliated the person who saved this company, and you call it a prank?" Customers watched, thrilled. For several seconds, the cafe stood frozen. The barista, Dylan, still gripping the half-empty cup of soda, stared at the man who just walked through the door as if he had seen a ghost. Customers who had been quietly typing on laptops or waiting for their orders were now completely still, watching the scene unfold. Marissa's breath hitched. She knew that voice. And from the moment she heard him say, "Who did this?" something in her shoulders loosened, but her heart raced twice as fast. Because the man who walked in was not just any customer. He wasn't a manager. He wasn't a regional supervisor. He wasn't even a corporate inspector. He was Elias Carter, billionaire, founder of Carter and Rowe Holdings, and the silent owner of over 180 franchises, including this exact cafe chain. And he was her husband. But nobody in the room knew that. Not yet. Sir, Dylan stuttered, backing up instinctively. It was just a joke. We were just... A joke? Elias repeated slowly, his voice deadly calm. Throwing a drink at a woman who works here? That's your definition of a joke. Dylan looked around for help, but every customer was glaring at him. I didn't mean anything, man, he mumbled. But Elias didn't even look at him. His eyes were fully on Marissa. And when their gazes met, she didn't see anger for her. She saw anger because of her. Protective.
Fierce.
Controlled only by the thin thread of his self-restraint. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. Did he hurt you? Marissa shook her head. Just humiliated me. In front of everyone. Elias exhaled slowly. That was worse. The cafe's manager, a woman named Tessa, rushed in from the back room. I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't see what. Elias cut her off. You don't need to apologize, he said. You didn't throw the drink. He pointed at Dylan. He did. Dylan opened his mouth, but Tessa snapped. Dylan. Office.
Now.
He slumped, glaring at Marissa like she was the one who caused him trouble. Elias didn't miss it. As the manager tried to pull Dylan toward the back, Elias raised a hand. Actually, leave him right where he is. Tessa froze. Sir? Elias walked to the counter, speaking with quiet authority. Before any decisions are made, I'd like to ask one question. He turned to the whole cafe. Did anyone here think it was funny when this man threw soda at her? The room stayed silent. Elias looked at the customers, then at the other employee, Jenna, who was trembling slightly. Anyone, he pressed. Nobody answered. But he saw the guilt in Jenna's eyes. One customer raised their hand nervously. I filmed it, a young woman said. I wasn't sure if I should, but I thought she might need it. Marissa gasped. You did. The girl nodded and held up her phone. Elias took it gently, watched the video for 5 seconds, then asked, Can you send that to me? Of course. Elias returned the phone, then looked at Dylan. You laughed, Elias said. Before you threw it. Dylan swallowed. It was a prank. No, Elias said sharply. It was harassment. And then, the moment that sealed his fate. Dylan scoffed loudly. Bro, relax. She's just a cleaner. It's not like she's important. Every customer winced. Jenna grabbed her forehead. Tessa looked like she might pass out. And Elias, he went perfectly still. The kind of stillness that means something terrible is about to happen. Elias stepped closer to Dylan. Her job description has nothing to do with how she deserves to be treated. So what? Dylan sneered. You her dad or something? Elias paused and smiled coldly.
No.
He reached out, took Marissa's hand, and said loudly, for the entire cafe to hear, She's my wife. The air vanished from the room. Jenna dropped a stack of cups. Tessa gasped so loudly that 3 customers turned. Dylan's face drained of color so fast it looked like he'd seen death. Wife, he stuttered. Elias nodded. And because of what you did, this entire store is now under review. Tessa rushed forward. Sir, I swear, I didn't know. She never told us she was. Why would she need to? Elias asked, crossing his arms. Why does she need to be married to someone wealthy for you to treat her with dignity? Tessa froze. She had no answer. Elias reached into his coat. Dylan flinched, thinking it was a police badge. It was worse. He pulled out a small black wallet with an engraved platinum emblem. Carter and Rowe Holdings. Corporate Ownership Division. Tessa's knees visibly buckled. Sir, are you? Yes, Elias said. I'm the silent partner who OWNS this entire franchise. The room went silent again. Dylan panicked instantly. Sir, please. I didn't know. It was just a joke. I didn't mean anything by it. You threw a drink at my wife. It was peer pressure. You laughed before you threw it. I thought she wouldn't mind. She flinched, and you laughed harder. Dylan, shut up. Elias took out his phone. Elias Carter, he said. Put me through to franchise oversight. Tessa nearly fainted. No, sir, please, not corporate. Our branch barely passed inspection last. Elias raised a finger. I'm not shutting the store down. Not yet. Everyone paused. But he's gone. He pointed at Dylan. Effective immediately. Jenna whispered, Oh my God. Tessa said, You're firing him? Elias tilted his head. Are you suggesting I shouldn't? Tessa shook her head violently.
No.
No, he deserves it. Dylan glared.
Wow.
Throw me under the bus. You threw a drink at a woman, Jenna snapped. You threw yourself under the bus. Dylan turned to Marissa, voice shaky.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I wasn't. No, Marissa said firmly. You're sorry because you got caught. Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. You don't owe him forgiveness. She nodded. Elias tapped his phone. Within minutes, a contracted security officer from the mall arrived. Dylan protested wildly. You can't kick me out. Oh, I can, Elias said. And I am. Security escorted Dylan out while he shouted. This is insane. She didn't even say she was married to you. A customer yelled back. She shouldn't have to. The cafe clapped. Once Dylan was gone, Elias turned to the staff. Sit, he said calmly. They obeyed instantly. He addressed Tessa first. You're the manager. You are responsible for employee conduct. I know, she whispered. Do you think you've been doing your job? She shook her head. No, sir. Then fix it. She nodded rapidly, eyes wide. For the first time since the drink hit her, Marissa spoke with confidence. I don't want him replaced by someone like him, she said. This cafe has good people. They just didn't know how to stop him. Elias looked at her with pride. Then we give them training. Tessa's head shot up. Training? Corporate training. Yes. Oh, thank God, yes, sir. Elias typed something into his phone. Starting today, he announced, this store is implementing a zero-tolerance policy for employee harassment. Jenna whispered, finally. And corporate, Elias added, will be upgrading this location. The staff gasped. When?
Tessa asked.
Tomorrow. The girl who filmed the incident approached. I'm really glad he's gone, she said softly. People like him ruin workplaces. Elias nodded. You did the right thing.
She smiled, relieved.
Tessa turned to Marissa. You deserve better than being a cleaner here, she said. We'd like to offer you a shift lead position. Marissa froze. What? You're organized, patient, and everyone likes you, Jenna added. You'd be perfect. Marissa's eyes filled with tears. Elias squeezed her hand. I told you, he whispered. People see your worth. Marissa covered her face. I didn't want this to happen, she said quietly. I just wanted to do my job. And now, Elias said, you'll do it with respect. She nodded into his chest. Customers began clapping again, this time not for justice, but for her. Marissa looked around, overwhelmed. And then something unexpected happened. A customer said, You deserve it. Another added, You handled it with dignity. A third added, Good for you. She smiled through tears. Elias pulled out his phone again. I'm making a statement to corporate, he said. This location is under my personal supervision until further notice. Tessa nearly collapsed with relief. Elias gently placed a hand on the small of Marissa's back. Let's go home, he whispered. You're staying?
Tessa asked, panicked.
I'll be back tomorrow, Elias reassured. We're not done improving this place. Then, to Marissa. Ready? She nodded. They walked out together, leaving behind a cafe that would never be the same again. As they stepped outside, Marissa laughed shakily. You really didn't have to do all that. Elias looked at her tenderly. Yes, he said softly. I did. Why? He kissed her forehead. Because no one disrespects my wife. Not in my store. Not anywhere. And with that, they walked off into the evening, leaving justice, growth, and a brand new beginning behind them. End of full story.